Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. So today we will be learning the ayat number from 83 to 86 of Surah AnNamal. So inshallah we'll do a simple translation first and then we'll go into the details. In the first three ayats, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the day of judgment and how certain things will proceed there. So the ayat starts with the وَيَوْمَ نَحْشُرُ, and the day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, we will gather min kulli ummatin, from each nation, fawjan, a group of people, mimman yukadhibu, the one or those who used to deny biayatina, our verses or our signs, which means in the worldly life when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his messengers and righteous people presented his signs or his verses or his revelation, the people used to deny and not accept. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that on the day of judgment, when we gather all the people, then from each nation, each community, we will take those people who used to deny our verses. Fahum yuzaun, and they will be set up, they will be made to stand in certain order, certain ranks, in certain positions. Then Allah says, Hatta iza ja'u, until when they come, they arrive in the place of judgment. Waqala, and Allah subhanahu ja'u qala, he will say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, and will actually ask, Akazzabtum biayati, did you deny or have you denied my verses or my signs in the worldly life? Walam tuhitu biha, and you did not encompass or comprehend completely all those signs or verses, ilman, in the knowledge. Then Allah says, Amma za kuntum ta'malun, or what is that you were doing there, what you had been doing in the worldly life. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after stating these, and here the answer of these people is not very clear, but it becomes clear. Allah says, وَوَقَعَ الْقَوْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ, the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become true or will befall upon them, bima zalamu, because they used to do wrong. Fahum la yantiqun, and they will not be able to speak with any reason or logic, because they will admit their guilt and their crimes. So this is a brief scene of the day of judgment about those peoples, especially who were denying, rejecting the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the worldly life. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next ayat number 86 is mentioning a sign or some signs of his power and authority. Alam yarau, have they not seen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the mankind through the verses and drawing their attention towards the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying, Alam yarau, have they not seen? Anna, that we, Ja'alna layla, we have made the night, liyaskunu, so they may get some rest in that in the night, fihi, in it. Wan nahara, and we have made the day, mubsiran, giving sight, which means in the daytime they can see and do the different things. Allah says, Inna fi dhalika, in these things, in these ayats, la ayatin, definitely sure signs. What is that? So there are signs, dhalika, these are signs in this statement. لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ, for those people who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And obviously those who do not believe or do not take seriously, then for them this is just a day and night. There is no sign for them in that. So this is the simple translation of these verses. So we'll go into the details now, going back to the ayat number 83. There are a couple rules that I want to remind before, because there's a repetition of those rules. And that is a very simple rule I have mentioned many times, that whenever you have a verb, which is khalaqa, is a verb, he created. So in this verb, there is a doer, he, third person, and a time, which is past tense, for example. He created. Okay. So whenever a verb comes and a doer is there, and after that some work is being done on something, what Allah is creating something. So in this case, I always give the example of al-insano is the word. Actual word is al-insano. The last letter has a pesh or dhamma on it. Al-insano. He created the man. So what happens? This word al-insano is the noun or word or ism upon which work is being done. So to represent that work is being done on this thing, we take the last letters dhamma or pesh and change into a fataha. Now this word became dependent. It cannot do anything. Somebody is working on that. So whenever you see a sign here, a fataha on the last letter, that means this word is a maf'ul or object, or somebody is working on it. Many times we will be repeating this combination of the words. So I just wanted to repeat. Now, there is one other thing that I want to point out in the ayat today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the word وَيَوْمَ نَحْشُرُ. The waw is and, but the second word starts with these three letters, waw, ya, waw, or mim. Okay. And if I make a noun, we know this word, we combine the first two letters by yaw, but a last letter is always coming with two dhammas or two pesh, like hamdun, yawmun. So word is yawmun. Yawmun means day, just a day, simple. Okay. So always the noun starts with the two dhammas or two tanween or two pesh on the last letter, and pronunciation is yawmun. So this is the word. To begin, this is the word. Now in the Quran, the word is yawma. Okay. So we have to see what that yawma is there and why it is there. In the language, or almost every language, when you are explaining something, you take the original text, and for the purpose of explanation, you add something in the bracket or parenthesis. And that thing in the parenthesis is not part of the statement, but it is helping to understand the statement. And always we do that. So let's start with this thing. These three letters, zal, ka, and ra. Zakara means to mention or to remind. Okay. If I mention something like put an alif in the beginning and combine them, uzkur. This is a command. This means remind or remember. Okay. So start with this word here. Okay. And then I'm going to add alif and lam, and the meaning of this is the. Okay. So these two things I'm going to put in the parentheses or in the bracket, which means they are not part of the word, but they will bring the meanings out, proper meanings out. Okay. So we are adding these two. So when you put the al before this word yawmun, it will become the day, and da is in the parentheses, and al removes one dhamma, it becomes al yawmu. So now it becomes al yawmu. Now al yawmu is a noun and uzkur is a verb. I just mentioned a verb and its meaning is remind. Okay, so when a noun comes after the verb here, it changes last letter dhamma to a fataha. We just learned that. Okay, al insana. So this word became yawma. So actual statement is that uzkur, O Prophet, remind, remember, mention to these people, al yawma, the day. A day will come, the day, someday, but this is a specific day, and this is the day of judgment. So these parentheses is not part of the Quran, but it is there to understand the statement. And this is called mahzuf, which means it is hidden, it is removed, it's not there. Only yawma is being mentioned. So the meaning will be remind these people of a day or of the day. What will happen on that day? And this is a special day, it's a day of judgment. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is drawing the attention of the reader towards the day of judgment, and then Allah mentioned what will happen on the day of judgment. So again, the rule is that if I have these three letters, fa'ala, which means to do, if I put a noon in the beginning and pronounce as naf alu, this noon in the beginning will bring the meaning of we, plural of the first person, and present tense or future tense. So naf'alu, it can also be translated as we will do. Okay. Now here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the royal language uses we for himself. Allah is calling himself as we instead of I. Okay. So the word is naf'alu. We will do. Now there is one more rule, is that when we make this kind of statement, present tense or future tense and a plural, the harakat are that you put a fatah on this one, a sukoon on the second letter, but third letter here can vary between three harakat. It can be a fataha, it can be a dhamma, or it can be a kasra. Different three letters will follow one of these harakat. Fourth letter will always have this one. So now start these three letters, ha, sheen and ra, hashara. The meaning of these three letters is to gather, to collect, hashara. So when we make the grammar of these three, the middle letter will carry a dhamma or a pesh. Okay. So when we make we will gather, we put a noon in the beginning and ha is after that, naha, but third letter will have a dhamma, so it will become naha shu, and last will be a dhamma or pesh. Nah shuru, that's the word in the Quran. The meaning will be we will gather. We is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is saying on a day or on the day of Qiyamah, we will gather. What is that Allah is going to gather or collect? Okay. Min kulli ummatin. We have to break down these three words together. First of all, the words are simple. If you have a word, and we know that kullun is a word, and this is Urdu word also. Kull. Kullun means all or each. Both meanings can be applied. All or each. That's the meaning of kull. All the people or each person. Kullun is the original words. The second word is ummatun. The word ummat we use, but the full word is ummatun. This last letter is round ta, and last letter always ends up with two pesh or two dhammas. So full word is ummatun. Ummatun means nation or community, and we say ummat when we stop. So nation. Now we are going to combine these two words together. Kullun and ummatun. The combination we usually say we put an of in between. Of all the nations or from all the nations. So when we combine these two as on the rules of mudaf, mudaf ilayh, in English we just add a combination preposition in between. In Arabic the rule is you remove one dhamma or pesh from the first letter, and the second word goes to two zero or two kasras. So now the word become kullu ummatin. Of each or all nations. Then we put a min before that. Min is a harf jar, and we'll translate that as from or among. And min will look at the next word and change this dhamma pesh to a kasra. So combination of these three words is what's in the Quran. Min kulli ummatin, we will gather from each nation. So there will be on the day of judgment, the communities and the nations and tribes will be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and from there he will pull out, he will gather some people from each nation. Some people, when I said faujan, so the word is fa, waw and jim, and this is a word we use all the time. Fauj. Fauj is a group, and full word is faujun. When you make the first time, always with the two dhammas. So faujun is the word. Faujun means a group. Okay. Now nahshuru is a verb, and faujun is coming as an object. So work is being done on faujun, so it will change to two fathas. It become faujan, and whenever we paste two zabars or two fathas, we add an alif, which is not spoken, pronounced, so it becomes faujan, which is the word in the Quran. We will gather on that day min kulli ummatin, from each nation, faujan, a group. Some people will be pulled out from each group, each nation, each community on the day of judgment. Who are those people? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning next. Mimman yukadhibu. So mimman is made of two, min and man. These are two different meanings. Okay. Min means from or among, and this is a preposition. Man means who or whoever, and this is a pronoun. Okay. These two can be written down when you have a meme and you have a noon. Then this noon in the tajweed is pronounced as meme also. Okay, by the rule. So together it will be written in mimman like this. Mim will be pronounced as min, will be pronounced as mim, and man. Mimman means from the people, those people who used to do something. Okay, from the group, from the fauj, those people or whoever was doing something. What were they doing? Yukazzibu. So the root letters are kazaba. Kazaba means to lie. A person who lies is a kadhib. Kazaba means to lie. These are three letters. They belong to Babe Fa'ala or group of Fa'ala. We are going to make four letters by adding a shadda on the middle letter. Fa'ala. So this word becomes kazzaba. Comes many times in the Quran. So what's the difference in the meaning? Kazzaba means somebody is lying. He is not telling the truth. Kazzaba is a person or activity that someone is told something and he denies and rejects it. That is kazzaba. So kazzaba is the activity of two persons. Someone is giving you information and you are rejecting, you are denying, you are not accepting. That is kazzaba. Kazzaba is simply a lying. Okay, so this is the word. Kazzaba means to deny. So now in this word, if we put a ya in the beginning with a dhamma or pesh, this brings the meaning third person and past tense. Or so it becomes yukazzibu. Three letters remain same, but if you pronounce them in a way that you put a ya in the beginning and pronounce kadhibu, okay? Yukazzibu means he denies. So the people that will be pulled out from each nation, a group of those people, these are the people who used to deny in the worldly life. What were they denying in the worldly life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, bi ayatina. So the word is ayatun. Ayatun can be taken both as a verse of the revelation. Ayatun. The important thing is that don't stretch right now. Ayatun. Ayatun means a sign. We stop, we say ayat. Ayatun is the full word, which means a sign or a verse of revelation or Quranic revelations or revelations of the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ayatun means one. If you just change this fataha to an alif, it becomes ayatun. This is a plural. When you make a plural, this is a round ta. Round ta changes into a full regular ta when you make a plural. So in writing, we write it this way. Ayatun, full word, signs or verses. Then you combine with a na. Na means we or us, or this is Allah is using for himself, we or our. Okay, and when you combine these, the meaning will be our signs. Signs of us or signs of ours is our signs. So Allah is saying the ayatuna is the word. Now when we combine with the B, which is a harf jar, which is of, preposition looks at the next word and changes. First of all, ayatun, and now will change to the mas to paste to one, and B will change this to a kasra or zair. So final word is bi ayatina, of our signs. That's the word in the Quran. Yukazzibu, they deny, they were denying or they have denied. Bi ayatina, our signs. So when messenger came or righteous people came and they presented the ayats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to them, people denied, some rejected them. So those kind of people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says on the day of judgment, we will pull them out, we will gather those people on the day of judgment, those who used to deny our verses or our signs. Then what will be done to them? Fahum yuza'un. So the word is waza'a. Root letters are these waw, za and ain. The meaning of these three letters is that to make someone stand in a row, in a marching order. Like when the battalion or army is made to stand in the order, that is called waza'a. To make someone stand in certain order. Okay, so that is the meaning of waza'a. When you put a ya in the beginning with a dhamma and pronounce yuza'u, this brings the meaning of a passive voice because of this dhamma and third person past tense. So the meaning of that, he will be made to stand. If I put a waw and noon, it will become plural and this will become yuza'una. They will be made to stand in the ranks, in the order, in a marching order, which means they will be gathered in certain order and they will be standing there like they are going to be taken somewhere else. Okay, just like that's how the army marches. First they stand in the order, then they start marching or going. So yuzauna, fahum, hum means they, fa means so. So those people who will be taken out, who will be gathered, nahshuru, Allah says, those who were the deniers of our verses, first on the day of judgment, they will be made to stand in certain ranks, certain orders. Then that's the end of ayat number 83. Then what will happen to after that? Hatta means until. Iza, Iza means when. And as I pointed out, the word Iza is used when you are talking something in the future. When something will happen in the future, then Iza is used for that. So remember that we are talking something that will happen in the future, not in this worldly life. We are talking about the day of judgment, which is future. So hatta iza, until when. So these people will be made to stand in certain ranks and then they will be taken to some other point, some other place. That's what it is saying. Ja'u. So let's understand that word. Jim, Ya and Hamza are the root letters. These three means to come. Okay. To come. Okay. If I put these three fathas, this becomes the grammar of third person past tense. Fa'ala, he did. Now Ya with the fatha has the sound of alif. So it becomes Ja. Hamza is there with the fatha, so Ja'a. When there is a Hamza, it always affects the letter alif before that and puts a long mud. So the final word is Ja'a. He came. Okay? He came. When you put a waw, it makes a plural. Ja'u means they came. Literal meaning, grammatical meaning is they, some people, and past tense came. Now remember, the word is Iza before that. Iza is used when, and the word is the future, for the future. So we are talking about futures. So this word is so powerful that the translation of this word will become the future translation. So Ja'u, literal meaning is they came, but because of this, the meaning will be they will come. Until hatta iza ja'u, when they will come or they will arrive. So these people who are the liars in the worldly life, on the day of judgment, first they will be made to stand in the orders, then they will be brought to some place and they will arrive there. When they arrive there, what will happen? Qala. Okay. So the word qala, again, qaf, waw, and lam is to say. Okay, qal is a saying, and you put three fathas, it becomes past tense, third person, he said. That's the literal meaning, grammatical. Now, qawala, waw with a fatha sign, a zabar sign is the sound of alif. So we change this one to alif and it becomes qala. Qala means he said. Now here, he is pointing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the meaning will be he, Allah said. But Iza is still there. It will pull in the future again this word. So its meaning will be he will say. Allah will say something. So when these people will be brought in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, qala, Allah will say something to them. What will Allah speak to them? Kazaba are the root letters again, which means to lie, and kazzaba means to deny. When you have three letters, fa, and lam, and if you put tum at the end and pronounce fa'altum, this becomes the grammar of you plural did. You, and it's a plural word, did, past tense. Okay, now fa'altum. So if I put tum here, it becomes the meaning you denied. Kazzabtum means you denied. Allah will say to them, you denied. But there is a alif with a hamza before that, and this letter by itself has the meaning of a question mark. So the word becomes akazzabtum. So Allah will say to these people, have you denied? Did you deny? Did you reject? What did you deny? Bi-ayati, my signs. Before, the word is same, except that, again, the word is same, ayatun. Start with this one, then make it a plural by putting an alif, and then you put a ya in the beginning. Ya brings the meaning of me, I or me. So when you combine, one dhamma will go away, and B is a harf jar, of. So when you write down these together, this dhamma becomes kasra and becomes bi-ayati. That's the word in the Quran. Bi-ayati. Did you deny my verses, my signs? Allah is speaking to these people. In the worldly life, were you rejecting my signs? Were you denying what my message was? Allah further says, Walam tuhitu biha. So let's understand those things. First of all, root letters, and these are common words. We also know these in Urdu, but once we start and reach there, it become easy. Root letters are ha, waw, and tha. Three letters is a fa'ala. We are going to make a four-letter word by adding an alif in the beginning. It becomes alif, ha, waw, and tha. Now these are the four letters. The pronunciation of this word is af'ala. So sound is that fatha sound. Af'ala. So this, when we put the fatha signs, this will change into the sound of alif and it will become ahata. Ahata means to encircle something. It is ahata is a Urdu word also. To encompass something, to surround something means ahata. Okay? To completely understand, encircle, encompass, surround, full comprehension is ahata karna kisi ka. So this is the word, ahata. Okay. Now, if I put a ta in the beginning, ta brings the meaning of you. Fa'ala, just repeat here for the purpose of understanding. If you have these three letters, fa and lam, fa'ala means to do. If I put a ta in the beginning and wuna at the end, ta brings the meaning of you and wuna brings the meaning of plural. Okay. So taf'aluna means you do, or you will do, or you were doing. So there are many meanings. Taf'alu, you will, the meaning is that you will do or you were doing. So remember that this is future or present tense. This is the grammar of future or present. So taf'aluna means you will do, plural, or you do, or you are doing. And that's combination is called mudare, which means in Arabic, present tense and future tense grammar is same. Okay, so taf'aluna can be meaning you do or you will do, and it's a plural and third person. Okay, so this is the word structure of that. This rule we are going to apply on these three letters here. Alif is there. Alif is not used when we make the grammar. So you put, instead of that, we put a ta, this one. And here it was a taf'aluna. Sound taf. So when we have a 4 letters here, when we start with the ta, for the 4 letters we put a pesh, not or a dhamma, not a fatah. Rest of the words are same. So it will be tohyituna. Tohyi, because we have a kasra here, so we change into ya. So tohituna. This is the word. Tohituna means you comprehend, you encircle something, you fully surround something. That's the literal meaning of tohituna. Or you will surround something, which means you will have, if you have a text or a message or a book, and you read the book with a full understanding, which means you have encircled everything in the book. You have encompassed everything. You have comprehended everything in that book. And for that is to use the word tohituna. Tohituna means you will encircle. So we start with this word. Ahata tohituna. You, plural, will encompass or encircle, or there are many meanings, as I said. Fully samajh lena. Okay, so that's the meaning of tohituna. Now this word is surrounded by something else. This word is first coming wa and lam. Wa and lam. Wa means and. Lam is a very special word. Lam does 3 things. First of all, it brings the meaning of not. Lam makes the statement negative. So tohituna is the word, which means you will encompass or you will comprehend. Lam will make it negative. You will not comprehend. Simply. First. The second thing lam does, that it looks at the plural here, and noon is the sign of being an extra, so it kills this noon. So noon goes away. That is characteristic of lam. So now the word becomes lam tohitu. For scripting purpose, we write an alif, which we don't recite. So just leave alif there. The third thing lam does, it pulls the word in the past tense. It's a future present word, pulls in the past tense. So lam tohitu means you did not comprehend in the past. So in the worldly life, Allah is saying, when my signs, my verses, my revelations were presented to you by my messengers or my righteous people, first of all, what you did, I'm asking you, did you deny them? Akazzabtum biayati, my signs, walam tohitu, and you were not able to understand them. You did not comprehend them. You did not understand what I was saying to you, and you just went and denied my verses there. Without even paying attention, without comprehending, without understanding, without listening to them properly. You did not did the ahata of those verses, but you just went around and you rejected my verses to you. Okay, so Allah is very logically presenting the case to them that today you are standing in front of me as a guilty person in the worldly life. Now tell me, you were denying? Did you deny our ayats and you did not understand them, but you just went ahead and rejected them? Biha means of them. Bi and ha. So biha, ha means it. And it is pointing to the ayati. You did not, tuhitu biha, did not understand and comprehend them, but you went ahead and you denied my signs, my verses. And next word Allah is using, ilm. So what is that? Ain lam mim, and the word is ilmun. Ilmun means knowledge. The full word is ilmun with the two dhammas, knowledge. Now, this word is coming as a maf'ul or object of kazzabtum, which is a verb. So when anything comes as a verb, we change these two fathas and we add an extra alif, so it becomes ilman. Meaning remains same as knowledge. So you did not comprehend your knowledge. My verses, you went ahead and denied them, rejected them. This is what a question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be asking these people on the day of judgment. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again making a second statement, maza kuntum ta'malun. So let's understand that. Maza. So word is maza. Maza means what or that. Word is means or. Or what? Okay, or that. Kuntum, kaf, waw, noon means to do. Or to be actually, not to do. To be. Kuntum means you were. Kuntum, you were. Okay. And ta'malun is from amala. Amala means to do something. Sabah, these are Urdu words. To do. And ta'maluna, you are doing. Ta is you. Maluna, you are doing. Ta'maluna, you are doing. You is a plural here because of wuna, and ta is you. You are doing. Now, kuntum, you were, and ta'maluna, you are doing. So in the grammar, when you combine these two, this is a past tense, kuntum, you were, and ta'maluna, you are doing. The combination brings a continuous, you have been doing, which means you are doing in the past, you are still doing. So when you combine in this format, that you join kuntum by something which is present, it becomes a continuous. So the meaning of kuntum ta'amaluna, you have been doing. Maza kuntum, Allah says, or what have you been doing in the worldly life? You were just denying my verses. You were rejecting them. You did not understand in your knowledge. You did not try to comprehend them. And so what were you doing? You were just rejecting them. What is that you were doing? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking them. So it's a very intense question that will be done to those people who will be rejecting these verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this worldly life. Then Allah says what will happen. Wa means and the next word is waqa'a. Waw, qaf, ayn. Waqa'a, we know the waqia, something to happen, something do fall, meaning the waqa'a. When we put the three fathas, the meaning will be it happened or it will happen. Something will happen. Something will befall. What will befall? What will happen? Allah says, al-qawlu, the word. Qawl is a word. Al-qawlu, the word. This is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The judgment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What Allah has decided to do with his qawl, his word, his statement. So Allah says Allah's word will happen, which means Allah's judgment will happen. Okay, alayhim, upon them. Allah means upon, whom means them. Combination is alayhim, upon them or against them. So these people who were denying the ayat, Allah says Allah's judgment will happen upon these people. Bima zalamu. Bima means because. These are two different words, but when you combine them, the meaning is because. And zalama means to do wrong. Zalama means to do wrong. When you put three fathas, it becomes he did wrong. When you add a vav, it becomes plural. And you change this to a dhamma and write an alif, which is not pronounced. So zalamu, they did wrong. Because they did wrong. They had been doing wrong in the worldly life. Okay? So this is what. So what will happen now? Allah is saying, Allah will ask all these questions. Allah's judgment will happen upon them. And then Allah says, Fahum la yantiqoon. Let's understand those words. Fa means so, hum means they. Okay? The word is nataqa. Nataqa are the root letters. And we also know the word qaf, waw, lam. Qawla. Qawla means to say. And nataqa is also to say. But there is a difference in the understanding. We know in Urdu there is the word mantaq or mantaqi admi. The one who argues with you, one who gives his logic to you, one who speaks with the argument and logic and reason, all that. Qawla means to just say, somebody is saying something. No, anything you can say. But when you say with the word nataqa, mantiq, means you are arguing with your logic, your reason. That's the word of mantaqi. So this is the word being used in the Quran. So nataqa, when you put a ya in the beginning, it becomes third person, he, and waw will become plural and a noon. And when plural, so this will become they. Yantiqoon, they speak or they say with reason or logic. But the word is la before that. La means not. So Allah says that they will not be able to say anything with reason. No logic they will be able to present in response to the question they will be asked, because they will admit their guilt that they rejected the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the worldly life. So in the hereafter, when these people will be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask them certain questions or make any statement, these people will not be able to reason, answer, say anything, because bima zalamu, they have done wrong in the worldly life. They will admit, but they will have no word to say. So that's the meaning of la yantiqoon. Okay? So this is the scene of the day of judgment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is presenting in very much details. In the last ayat 86, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning for the people who are still living on the face of the earth, his signs. What is that? Alam yarao. Okay. So again, ra, alif and ya means to see. Okay. If I put a ya in the beginning, it becomes third person. And vuna becomes plural. Okay. So this is the way, means they see. Now, alif and ya both are weak letters. We don't pronounce them, they are just sound. So this becomes yarau na. Yarau na means they see. Then you put a lam before that. And we just learned that lam does three things. It makes not, meaning it kills the noon, so it goes away. Okay, and it pulls in the past. So the meaning will be lam yarau. They did not see. But alif is a question mark, same format. So the alam yarau means did they not see? Allah is addressing the people. Or don't you see? Have you not seen? People who are alive, Allah is telling them through His verses, alam yarau, don't you see? Have you not seen? Every day you are seeing something. Don't you pay attention? Anna ja'alna layla. Anna is made of two parts. First of all, Anna is this word here. And don't pronounce Anna. Anna means surely or that. You can apply both meanings. Let's see the meaning that. And then the word na. Na means we. And this we are using for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This word is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Na means we. We is Allah Himself. When you combine these two together, the meaning will be that we. Allah is saying, alam yarau, did they not see that we? Now, in the text writing, you notice that there's a two noons here and one noon here, so there are three noons. Okay, so what we do we shorten this and do not pronounce one noon, so this becomes two noons only. Anna. Anna means we, that we. Alam yarau, have they not seen? Anna, that we. We is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ja'ala. Ja'ala means to make. And when you put na at the end, it becomes the grammar of we in past tense. Ja'alna, we made. Have they not seen that we made or we brought or create? There are many meanings, but Ja'alna, we have made. What have we made? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using the word lay. Almost all these words are Urdu words in this ayat. Layl is a night. And the full word is laylun, night. Then you put al before that. Al means the. And al will remove one pesh or one dhamma, so it will become al-laylu. Al-laylu is the full word, the night. This word is coming as a maf'ul or object of ja'alna. Ja'alna is a verb. So when it comes as an object, it changes dhamma to a fataha. You read them together, it becomes ja'alna layla. We have made the night. Don't they see? Allah is saying that we have made the night. Night what? Again, the word is Seen, Kaf, and Noon. Sakana. We will note the word Sukoon. To become peaceful, to rest, that is Sukoon. That's the word, the meaning of Sakana. You put a ya in the beginning, he comes third person. He becomes peaceful. He gets sukoon. When you add vuna, it becomes plural. Yaskununa. Our full word will be yaskununa. Yaskununa means they become peaceful. They become, when you sleep at night time, you get sukoon. You become peaceful. That is yaskununa. They get peace or sukoon. Okay, now we are going to add this lam in the beginning. This is lam e talil and its meaning is so that. So that. So when we use this letter, it has certain reason for using. Okay. For example, if I say, I went to college so that I may learn. Okay. So for that purpose, I'm going to use lam with a zir or kasra, It's called lam ta'lil, okay? So what this does, when we put this letter in the beginning, it does certain things. First thing it does, it causes this noon to drop. So it becomes yaskunu, and whenever we drop a noon, we write down an alif, which we don't pronounce. So it becomes liyaskunu. How it changes the meaning? It says they get peace. So if I add just a may or might, it becomes more intense meaning. Liyaskunu, so they may get peace at night. We made the night, so they become peaceful at night. You sleep, you get sukoon, you wake up, you are fresh. So Allah is telling the purpose of the night, that we have made the night for you or for the people, so they may attain peace or calmness or qarar or sukoon at the night time. That's the purpose of the night. Fihi is the word. Fihi means in it. Fi means in, and he means it, and that is pointing to the night. In the night, they may get peace of all kinds. Now Allah is saying, one nahara. So noon, ha and ra are the root letters. Naharun is the word. Naharun means day. Naharun means day. Then you put al before that. Al means the, and al will remove one dhamma. And al is, when noon is there, it kills the sound of lam. It pronounces itself twice. So the word becomes AnNahara. AnNaharo actually. AnNaharo means the day. Okay. And again, this is coming as an object of jalna. We made the night for a purpose, and we made the day. So when you say we made jalna, so this will change again to nahara, just like lalo changed to layla. Naharo became nahara. And wow means and. So you recite that one nahara, and the day, and we made the day. For what purpose? Night for sleeping, resting, but the day is made for what? So the word is basara. Ba, swad and ra. Again Urdu word, 3 letters, fa'ala, and the meaning is to see. Okay, fa'ala. You make 4 letters, af'ala, it becomes absara. Absara is to make someone see. Basara, you are seeing. Absara, you are making someone see something. Okay, if you are telling something, see this thing, that is absara. Okay, now as I mentioned a few times, that these are 4 letters, like 3 letters are Sin, Lam, Mim. Salama is to do salam. If you put 4 letters, it becomes Aslama. Aslama means to submit. Okay. How do you make a person who is submitting? You remove a alif and you put a mim in the beginning with the dhamma. And you write down Muslimun. Combine the 3 letters. You stop, you say Muslim. So a doer of this 4 letters starts with a meme. You put a meme, and there are many words. Muflis, mujrim, mukhlis. All those letters words have meme in the beginning, and those are the doers of the activity. So we do the same thing. You put meme and you pronounce mubsirun. Mubsirun is something which is making you see. Muslim is a person who is submitting. Absara, to make see. Mubsirun is something which is making you see. And what is that? The day. Day makes you see. So that is the reason Allah is using the sukoon for the night time, and something make things visible to you. Because there is no darkness, so you can see everything around. Mubsirun, okay? But this is again coming as a maf'ul of jalna, So you change to 2 fathas and then an alif. So that's mubsiran. Inna fi zalika. Very simple. Inna means surely. The word inna means surely. Fi means in. Zalika means that. That means what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning, the example here, the day and night. What is in that? La ayatil liqawmi yu'minun. All these are simple words. Ayatun, plural is ayatun. Ayatun means signs. And lam brings the surely with the fatha. Okay, and this will change to 2 kasras. So in this, what Allah is saying are sure signs, definite signs. Liqawmin, for a pupil. Okay. For a pupil. Okay. Qawm means pupil. Li means to or for. For a pupil. Yu'minun, those who believe. So those who believe, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying there are very clear signs in the day and night for those people who have the faith or who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those who do not believe, they just reject the signs and the verses and the revelations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without trying to understand them. Walam tuhitu. They don't put any effort to understand them, and they just outright reject because they don't like the person who is presenting his verses to these people. So these are basically, after mentioning what will be done to them in the day of judgment, Allah is mentioning his signs again here. Ponder on the day and night and you will see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that will prepare you to submit to him, and on the day of judgment you will not be standing like a criminal there in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Quran is full of understanding and wisdom. So may Allah give us tawfiq to understand the Quran correctly and ponder and pay attention and get the guidance from it. Sadaqallahul Azim.